The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, always good to get that burp in, and or future. Friday night in Kansas City, the Orioles and Kansas City Royals, and what could be a preview of the American League Championship Series. And if it is, the first blood goes to Kansas City. And the second, Clint Hurdle with a sac fly to make it 1-0. In the fourth, John Wathan singled home Hal McRae 2-0. And in the seventh, Frank White doubled home Freddie Patek to make it 3-0. Paul Splittorff goes to 8-8. He throws a 4-hitter. Scotty McGregor goes the route, 3 earned runs, 10 hits, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. He's 8-7. More importantly, the Orioles are out of first place. It's the Yankees' world. The Orioles try to get their revenge next. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Baseball Replay 1978. Today, from Royal Stadium in Kansas City, it is the Kansas City Royals and the Baltimore Orioles, presented by, DigitalDice.com, the best podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. It's Rich Gale against El Presidente Denny Martinez on a hot, sticky, windy night in Kansas City. And good afternoon, wherever you might be. My name is Ron Chuckett. We welcome you to the broadcast for a Friday afternoon. And this place is as neutral as you can get. Well, this place is always neutral. But as far as the weather is concerned, it is warm, it is muggy, it is 88 degrees. The wind is blowing in at left center field at 7 miles an hour. And these two teams are fighting for pennants. The Kansas City Royals are 46-36. They've got one more game left tomorrow before the break. The Orioles are going to go with Denny Martinez on the hill as they try to get their 50th win before the break. This is game 84 for Baltimore, game 83 for Kansas City, and it's a strange lineup for the Royals. You got George Brett leading off, Pete Lecoq batting third. Just not a lot of power. Baltimore, they're in pretty good shape, but these are games they gotta win. So, as I said in the open, this could be a preview of the American League Championship Series come about 13 weeks from now. You never know. So, are you ready? Let's get to it. It's baseball. It's Friday. It's lunch. Let's do it. And Rich Gale will take some warm-up tosses. He is 5-4 on the year, with an ERA of 3 flat. This is his 15th start. How you doing, Big Clue? Good to have you along. Thanks for the great email. Probably talk about that over in the next week, about all the Hall of Famers or World Series teams that don't have people in the Hall of Fame. And happy birthday, Stevie. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Steve. Happy birthday to you. And many more. So the last time that Rich Gale threw for the Kansas City Royals, he went 7 innings against the California Angels, allowed 6 hits, 4 runs, only 1 earned. He walked 3 and struck out 3. And so he is throwing 93 innings in his last start of the first half. 84 hits, 39 runs, 31 earned, and only 3 homers allowed. He has walked 42 and struck out 42. The Angels beat him despite the 1 earned run. And so here's how the Orioles will line up. It'll be Larry Harlow in center field. He'll lead it off. Rich Dower will bat second and play second. Eddie Murray will bat third and play first. Kenny Singleton is in right field. He'll clean up. Lee May, the DH, will bat fifth. Pat Kelly, who I learned from one of you guys is Leroy Kelly's brother, is in left field. He'll go sixth. Doug DeCinces at third will bat seventh. Rick Dempsey behind the plate will bat eighth, and Mark Belanger, who never batted third in his career, is a shortstop, and he will go ninth. Denny Martinez will pitch for the Orioles when the time comes. Defensively for the Royals, Tom Paquette He'll leave the light on for you at Motel 6. He's a 7 and an 8 in left. Amos Otis is a 5 and a 6 in center. And Clint Hurdle is in right, a 4 and a 7 in right field. The 26th of November is my birthday. And I'll be 49 this Thanksgiving. George Brett is an 8 at third. UL Washington, a 6 at short. Frank White is a 10 at second. And Pete Lecoq is a 6 at first. Darrell Porter, a 6 and a 6 behind the plate. Rich Gale is an 8 on the mound. Not good fielding percentage. Yep, Mr. Pauly, it should be a good game, and Tribe Fan is working for the weekend. You are correct. Well, that's a great day to have a wedding anniversary for sure. November is kind of a strange time for a wedding, but what the hell do I know? I was born a turkey. Actually, I was born the day after Thanksgiving in 71. Larry Harlow, 258, 6 homers, and 36 RBI. And this ball game will start with a ground ball base hit past a diving UL Washington in the left field. And the Orioles start with a hit. Here comes Dower. Slow year for Dower. Not a start. We're halfway through the year. 222, a homer, and 18 RBI. Pitch from Gale. Dower, and there's a base hit again past Washington. Harlow will scamper to third, and the Orioles have runners in the corners and nobody out for Eddie Murray. Hitting .302, 15 homers, and 68 RBI. So, Yang, you guys play a lot of these games. What teams would be considered championship teams that you've underperformed with on the tabletop? And maybe some teams that weren't as good that overperformed on the tabletop. We're going to talk about that when we tape Digital Dice. Mr. Garber said they got married the day before Thanksgiving, Wednesday. And my thinking was to celebrate on a long weekend. Well, that's cool. I can't imagine there was a lot of action at the wherever you got married that day. Pitch to Murray is a ground ball to Washington. Might be 2. They're going to try for 2. White for 1, and I believe the throw has been botched. Lecoq's on the bag. Dower is retired. I think Harlow scores. A low throw, and he couldn't dig it out. So it's not an error, but a fielder's choice. You can never assume the double play, so 1-0. That's interesting. The Expos underperformed for Big Clue. All right, and the Braves are the better team. The Expos, depending on what engine you use, the Expos' infield defense is absolutely atrocious. I'm in the middle of that series for Mr. DJ John, as a matter of fact. Oops. He got married at the Ringgold Wedding Chapel. Same place that Dolly Parton got married. Nice. That's pretty cool. Murray on first, 1 out for Singleton. 313, 13 homers, and 31 RBI. Gale's pitch, Singleton into right. Hurdle in the corner has it for the second out. Murray will get back. 2 out for Lee May at 252, 14 homers, and 55 RBI. Gale trying to get out of the first. There goes Murray. The throw down to White. Not in time. So that's the 5th for Eddie Murray. He had a 62% chance of taking it. And someone had to get Earl's attention away before that steal. Earl's going, what? What? So the count is a strike to Lee May. Pitch from Gale. And there's a pop-up. Left side, Brett in the corner. Did he get it? Yes, he can. He reached in, the seas parted, and George Brett made the catch. Half an inning in the books. Baltimore gets a run on 2 hits and no errors. We go to the bottom of the first inning, 1-0 Baltimore. So Denny Martinez making his 21st start of the year. And he already has almost as many complete games as he did in real life. He's thrown 13 in the first half. He has pitched against Kansas City once, and that did not go well. 3 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, all earned. He walked 2 and took the loss. His last start was a firecracker on the 4th of July, a loss to Cleveland. 8 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs, all earned. He walked 2 and struck out 4. He's a fastball pitcher, 89, and a ground ball pitcher. 142 innings, 140 hits, 10 homers, 67 runs, 60 earned. He's walked 58 and struck out 76. And this will be the lineup he'll face. George Brett leads off at third. Hal McRae, the DH, will bat second. Pete Lecoq at first will bat third. Darrell Porter behind the plate cleans up. Clint Hurdle in right will go fifth. Amos Otis is in center, batting sixth. Tom Paquette in left field will bat seventh. Frank White at second will go eighth, and U.L. Washington at short will bat ninth with his toothpick. Rich Gale threw 14 pitches in the first. Big Clue says, didn't realize this until recently, but the Joe Morgan trade with Cincinnati and Houston, Lee May was voted the starting first baseman on the NL All-Star squad in 72 for Houston. Wow. No Dodgers. I don't think you get them again until next week. The schedule is just not kind of National League teams. You get a lot of bottom feeders for the top teams. And the American League races are actually very competitive. So here's the defense for Baltimore. Pat Kelly, a 5 and a 3 in left. Larry Harlow, a 6 and a 5 in center. Ken Singleton, a 6 and 7 in right. Doug DeCinces is a 7 at third. Mark Belanger a 10 at short. Rich Dower a 6 at second. Eddie Murphy a 6 at first. Rick Dempsey a 5 and a 7 behind the plate. And Denny Martinez an 8 on the mound with a .987 fielding percentage. I believe we get the Reds and the Astros tomorrow. I think. George Brett at 261. 7 homers and 35 RBI. 1-0 birdies. Pitch to Brett is a ground ball to DeCinces. Over to Murray, 1 out. So it's a good-sized crowd here, but they're warm. Lots of beer and ice cream flowing around Royal Stadium. 88 degrees. Here's McRae at 276. 6 homers and 48 RBI. It gets away from Dempsey on strike 3. The throw down to Murray, 2 out. So a good start for Martinez. And here's Pete Lecoq. The center square is hitting .293, a homer, and 6 RBI. Martinez kicks and deals into right field. Back goes Singleton. Makes the catch to retire the side. After 1, it's the Orioles 1. The Royals get nothing across and like it. Nothing. So Pat Kelly, Doug DeCinces, and Rick Dempsey here in the second. Kelly at 348. 6 homers and 18 RBI. Who'd you win with? The University of Tennessee Chattanoogas? Pitch to Kelly is a ground ball up the middle. Washington behind the bag. Over to first. For the out. 1 away for DeCinces. 256, 14 homers, and 40 RBI. GM87 Michael is our newest follower here on Twitch. He makes 104. Pitch to DeCinces, ball 4. So DeCinces draws the walk on a full count. That was away. And 1 on and 1 out for Dempsey at 225, 5 homers and 28 RBI. Gale from the shirt sleeves on this warm night. And that's into right center field for a base hit. DeCinces goes to third. And the Orioles seem to be timing him pretty well. And that brings up Belanger at 232. No homers and 19 RBI. Well, hey. So it was against Jackson State. That's a good one. His other win was against the NCAA champion Arizona Wildcats. Go figure. That's why we play the games. Lecoq and Brett playing for the bunt. Pitch to Belanger is a ground ball to White. They'll take the sure out at first. Well, they're trying for two. The second for one. And Washington's throw to Lecoq is not in time. But White saved a hit. The Orioles will trade a run for an out, and it's 2-0. Simon says, put your hands in the air. Larry Harlow singled and scored his first time up. Gale through 9 batters, 29 pitches, an inning and 2/3. 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, and a walk. Pitch to Harlow is ball 4. So Gale not throwing lights out today. 3-1 was just inside. Brings up Dower, who singled his first time up. 2 out, 2-0 Baltimore, top the second. Pitch from Gale. And there's a ground ball base hit left side. Belanger will score. Harlow goes to third, and it's now 3-0 Birdies. I'm just playing Simon Says. I don't care who said it. Simon Says championship, if I remember correctly. That was the Billy Packer line. Eddie Murray is 0 for 1, but he reached on a fielder's choice and stole his 5th base. Dower on first, Harlow on third. Gale's pitch. Quick throw to first, and Dower's back. So Porter tried to snap throw. A ball and no strikes. Murray, and there's a base hit into right field. Harlow scores. Dower goes to third. Big Clue is 2 for 10 in that game. Who are you playing in basketball? So it's 4-0 Baltimore. So Dower goes to third. Murray at first for Singleton, who's 0 for 1. Ball 4. Gale just doesn't have it. He's walked 3, given up 5 hits and 4 earned runs. Not sure who Whitey's got left in the pen. Here's Lee May. He's 0 for 1. Pitch from Gale, and there's a ground ball to Brett. He goes to White for the sure out at second, and that will retire the side. But the Orioles get 3 runs on 3 hits and no errors. Inning and a half in the books. Baltimore 4, Kansas City nothing. So Darrell Porter at 307, 9 homers and 56 RBI. Hurdle and Otis to follow. And the Royals are already behind the 8 ball, down 4 here in the second inning. Porter, little nubber down to first, and that will roll fair. It stayed fair. Murray picked it up, and Porter beat it out. So that's the first hit for Kansas City. And that'll bring up Mr. Hurdle. Clint at 252. 4 homers and 29 RBI. No telling how many wads of tobacco he swallowed. And there's a base hit left center field. Porter will run to third. Hurdle on first. And so it's runners in the corners. Nobody out for the powerful Amos Otis, who's at 271. 7 homers and 27 RBI. Who are you playing with the 85-86 Celtics? That team is loaded. So Porter on first, Hurdle on third, Otis at the plate. And the Royals got something cooking here in the bottom of the second. Into left center field. Harlow will have it. Porter goes back to tag. The throw goes in the infield, and Kansas City's on the board 4-1. So the Royals get one back. 1 out for Paquette, the lefty hitting .216. 1 homer and 12 RBI. Hurdle on first. Paquette, ground ball to third. To Sensei, to Dower for 1. Over to Murray. Can they turn it? Can they turn it? Yes, they can. But the Royals get a run on 2 hits and no errors. They don't strand anybody. And the double play went 5-4-3. After 2, 4-1 Baltimore. So, let's take a look at the standings here. Kansas City's won 3 straight. 2.5 over Texas, 3 over Chicago, and California, who's lost 3 straight, has fallen to 3.5 back. Minnesota, around 500, but they're only 5.5 back. In the East, told you the Yankees have won 2 straight. Baltimore has fallen to a half game out. Milwaukee, 4.5. Boston, 7. In the West, the Dodgers by 6 over the Astros. 9.5 over the Reds, who've dropped 3 straight. And the Phillies have knocked the Pirates to 4.5. That's why you're not seeing as many National League games. There just aren't any real races there. McHale got hurt. Yep. And there is a big difference. Once you get McHale back, though, he's good the rest of the way. So the Dodgers and the Orioles, getting back to baseball, the 2 best run differentials. The Dodgers are at 98, and Philadelphia is at 82. The Orioles are at 79. And they've scored 404 runs already this year. Best pitching goes to the Phillies. They've only given up 271 runs. Pat Kelly's 0 for 1. Gale starts the third with a fly ball to left. Back goes Paquette in the corner. That's off the wall. Kelly's on with a double, standing. That didn't miss being a home run by much. And now the air is still 85 degrees and not a breath of wind. And Gale standing on the mound sweating like it's 110. Here's DeCinces. He walked one of the 3 walks that Gale has allowed and scored. Line drive center field. Otis gonna dive for it. He slides, it gets away. Kelly scores. DeCinces into second with a double. And it's 5-1 Baltimore. So Whitey's got a problem here. Gale has given up 10 base runners and 5 earned runs. Lorenzo loving the basketball game for Action PC. Here's Dempsey. He's 1 for 1. Singled his first time up. Right back to Gale. Over to first. For the out. The Sensei will hold 1 away. What are you playing for basketball, Lorenzo? Belanger reached on a fielder's choice and scored. He's 0 for 1. And there's a ground ball to Washington. He tags DeCinces and for the out. So DeCinces got a jump. Earl's not real happy in the dugout. Washington tagged him, and he'll let Belanger go to first. So there's 2 outs. Lorenzo playing a lot of ABA basketball. Oakland Oaks. That brings up Larry Harlow, the 3rd time through. So Gale at 57 pitches through 18 batters, only 2 2/3 innings. My goodness. 7 hits, 5 runs, and 3 walks. Harlow was walked once, singled, 1 for 1, and scored twice. The Oaks were a PCL baseball team as well. Pitch to Harlow. There goes Belanger. The throw down to Washington, and Belanger steals the base. That's 5. So Earl being quite aggressive. Yep. And a 1-strike count to Harlow. Little nubber down to first. Lecoq takes it to the bag himself, and the side is retired. The Orioles finally Nope, they get another run up there. So 1 run on 2 hits and no errors. Right now, Baltimore 5, Kansas City 1. A reminder, the Royals haven't even gotten through the lineup once yet. Frank White at 305, 5 homers and 43 RBI. In the left, Kelly, 1 out. Here's UL Washington. They're playing back. We're going to drop one here. He's at 243, no homers and 5 RBI, and a lifetime supply of mint-flavored toothpicks. Here's the pitch. He drops one down. Martinez has it. Throws it over to Dower covering, and Washington is retired. So 2 out for George Brett. Martinez, 35 pitches through 9 batters, 2 2/3 innings, 2 hits and a strikeout. Pitch to Brett. Struck him out. Got him on an 0-2. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the fourth. It's Baltimore 5, Kansas City 1. So Dowler, who is singled twice and has an RBI. And if you're wondering about the ballpark effects, it's average. Everything's a 0. Everything. Pitch from Gale is a ground ball to Lecoq. Flips it underhanded to Gale, and that will be the first out. So maybe Rich can get some batters out here and save some of that pen. Here's Murray. Eddie singled, drove in his 69th run of the year, and stole his 5th base. Into right, Hurdle, 2 out. So Gale could use a quick inning. That'll bring up Singleton, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. Charlotte Hornets, as Big Polly tells us, was a WFL team, or a World Football League team, and a minor league baseball team, and then the name got recycled for their NBA team twice, as a matter of fact. Pitch to Singleton. And there's a line drive right center field. Otis got a late jump on it. Going to bounce all the way to the wall. And Singleton's in standing with a double. So Gale thought he was going to get a 1-2-3 inning. He's not going to get it. Brings up Lee May. He's 0 for 2. Pitch from Gale. Struck him out. Gale got him on an 0-2 on the inside corner on something that resembled an 82-mile-an-hour pitch. The Orioles go down. They leave a runner on. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. They have stranded 6. 6. Bottom of the 4th, 5-1 Baltimore. So McRae, Lecoq, and Porter to face Martinez in the 4th. McRae has a strikeout. He's 0 for 1. Pitch from Denny is a ground ball up the middle. Belanger on the dirt by second, over to first for the out. So 1 away. Lecoq has a 6-game hitting streak. You know what? Maybe he never looked like Peter Marshall. Maybe it's a cheesy mustache. Still no wind, 84 degrees, so getting a little more comfortable as the evening wears on here in Kansas City. Ground ball right back to Martinez. Over to first, 2 out. For Darryl Porter, who singled and scored. Infield hit. Appichatter is playing the season schedule that comes with the 96-97 college tournament teams and then the NBA schedule with 85-86 Celtics. Also bought some more NBA seasons and NFL seasons. That's the year the Celtics went 40-1 at home. Pitch to Porter is into right field. Singleton has it for the out. No runs, no hits, no errors. We've played 4. 5-1 Baltimore. So Kelly to Sensei and Dempsey in a game that Gale is essentially in relief of himself. Kelly 1 for 2. He's got a double and a run scored. Base hit left side. Washington dove, couldn't make the play. So Kelly on first. Paquette tossed it back in the infield. And that'll bring up the Sensei. It was 1 for 2. He is 1 for 1 rather. He has walked, doubled, drove in a run, and scored. Line drive to right. Hurdle dives and makes a fantastic catch. Kelly goes back to first. Hurdle robbed him of a hit. And Gale tips his cap. Here's Dempsey. He's 1 for 2. Up the middle, Gale to White for 1. Over to first. Is it 2? Dempsey looks. Yes, it is. Double play. No runs, a hit. They don't leave anybody on. We're halfway home. Time for the break. Baltimore 5. Kansas City 1. So Baltimore got ahead of Gale early, a run in the first, 3 in the second, kind of a death by 1,000 paper cuts thing. Kansas City got a run back in the second, and the Sensei doubled home Kelly to make it 5-1 in the third, in the third. Danny Martinez is allowed 2 hits through 4. Hulu, Amazon, and a shaving ad, okay? And when you add my wife's haircut, it's shaving a haircut in 2 bits. How you doing, Kurt Berglund? Gale, 9 hits through 5 and 5 runs. Hurdle singled his first time up. Martinez starts the bottom of the 5th. 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors for Baltimore. They've left 6 on. Kansas City a run on 2 hits and no errors. And they have yet to strand anybody. Failed makes it sound like it's a bad thing. It's not. That's a good thing. Hurdle strikes out. Martinez got him on a 2-2 fastball, and that's the 3rd for Denny. Brings up Otis, who sack fly in the 2nd. Drove in his 28th run. Up the middle, base hit. Dower Dove couldn't get it, and Amos Otis is on sec first. 1 out for Paquette, who will hit a run here. He's 0 for 1. Pitch dribbled down to third, foul, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes. Or 2-2. Second verse here will be same as the first. Pitch to Paquette. There goes Otis. Ground ball to Dower. Otis will go to second. Paquette thrown out, and so they stay out of the double play. So 2 out for Frank White, who's 0 for 1. Martinez fires, and there's a ground ball to Belanger over to Murray, and the Royals finally will strand that runner. They get a hit. No runs, no errors. We've played 5 here in Independence, Missouri. 5-1, Baltimore. So Rich Gale gave me the fatigue warning. He's not pitched well. Belanger, Harlow, and Dower here in the 6th. Belanger, 0 for 2. Drove in a run, stole a base, and scored. Ground ball to Brett. Across the way to first for the out. Big Clue rooting for the Orioles. That's a safe bet with a 5-1 lead in the 6th inning. Larry Harlow is 1 for 2. Has walked and scored twice. That hit was a single. Gale threw 27 batters, 5 1/3 innings. 92 pitches, 9 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 1. Pitch to Harlow is a ground ball to White over to first for the out. So Gale in the middle innings looking a little bit better. 2 out for Dower, who is 2 for 3 with his 19th RBI. 2 singles. Gale, rough start, trying to avoid his 5th loss. Ground ball to short. Washington over to Lecoq. On the bag, yes, sir. So no runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 5-1 Baltimore. So Washington tried to bunt his way on. Couldn't do it. Hits righties at a 305 clip. That toothpick there, and of course Joe Garagiola would say, okay, he's an adult, kids. He can do that. You can't. I'm surprised the Royals let him do that, to be honest. Ball 4. He walked, and for Denny, that's his first walk. Brings up George Brett, who's 0 for 2, with a strikeout. Denny, 72 pitches through 18 batters, 5 innings, plus 3 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Brett up the middle past the diving Dower in front of Harlow. Washington with wheels goes to third. And the Royals have runners on the corners and nobody out for Hal McRae, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. So the Royals just trying to chop back at this deficit. Baltimore, half game out behind the Yankees in the East. Kansas City leading the Rangers in the West. That's a real horse race. Pitch to McRae up the middle. Dower Washington will try and score. Belanger for 1. Murray for 2. Maybe. Washington will score, but they get the double play. So Baltimore, 4-6-3 on the twin killing, will make that trade every time. But the Royals get another run. This will bring up Lecoq, who's 0 for 2. 6-game hitting streak for Pete. Strike 3. Got him swinging on a 79-mile-an-hour Scroogey. And Denny's through 6. He gives up a run on a hit and no errors. We go to the 7th. 5-2 Baltimore. So Eddie Murray, Kenny Singleton, and Lee May here in the 7th. This game has gone quick. We'll play the rest of the day in baseball afterwards. Remember, our next scheduled baseball broadcast is Sunday. And then, I got to remind Lorenzo of this because he'll forget. The All-Star game from San Diego will be Monday night at 7:45 Eastern, 4:45 Pacific. So 7:45 Eastern, 4:45 Pacific for the All-Star game from the Murph in San Diego. Pitch to Murray, who's 1 for 3. Got a single, a stolen base, and an RBI. Right to Gale, 1 out. That'll bring up Singleton. Kenny, 1 for 2. He has walked and doubled. Up the middle, a base hit. So Singleton's on. That's a 10th hit for the Orioles. Lee May 0 for 3 with a strikeout. So Gale probably down to his last base runner. He somehow got into the 7th inning, which when you was 4-0 in the second for Baltimore, you wondered how long he'd go. Porter and Gale have a few words. From the stretch. Into left. Pocket. Yes, sir. Right down the line for the out. So 2 out for Pat Kelly, who was 2 for 3. He singled, doubled, and scored. It'll be Porter, Hurdle, and Otis for the Royals in their half of the 7th. Kelly, ground ball to Lecoq, takes it to the bag himself, and that will retire the side. Stretch time, 5-2 Baltimore. Darryl Porter's 1 for 2. He singled and scored. Denny Martinez starts the 7th on 85 pitches. And there's a fly ball left field. Kelly moves back a little bit and makes the catch, 1 out. For Clint Hurdle, who has struck out and singled, he's 1 for 2. 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors for Baltimore. They've left 7 on. 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors for Kansas City, and they've only stranded 1 runner. Ball 4. This inning brought to you by Deep Thoughts by Stuart Smiley. Hey, Dave Gardner's here. That brings us up Otis. Otis singled, has an RBI. The RBI came on a sac fly in the 2nd. And that's a line drive to second. Dower, 2 out. Brings up Tom Paquette, who's 0 for 2. Into center field, Harlow makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. They leave a runner on the walk. After 7, 5-2 Baltimore. So Gale will start the inning to Sensei, Dempsey, and Belanger. And Gale really down to his last base runner. The Sensei doubled. He's 1 for 2. He has scored, walked, and drove in a run, his 41st. Ground ball to Lecoq. Takes it to the bag himself. And that is one away. Thanks. That was a fun video to do. It takes nowhere near as long for me to play around as it did for me to show it, but Dave was trying that strategy too. Rick Dempsey 1 for 3 is singled and grounded into a double play. Pitch from Gale. Ground ball to Washington. Over to first. 2 out. So Gale somehow is going to get 8 out of this unless Belanger reaches. Mark 0 for 3. As an RBI his 20th, a run scored his 40th, and a stolen base his 5th. Pitch from Gale, it hit Belanger, and that'll be it. But Gale should get a decent hand. He went 7 2/3 innings. He's kept the Royals in the ball game. And Steve Mignori will come in to pitch. So Mignori, the left-hander. We'll see what they do with Harlow. This is his 25th appearance. He is 3-6 with 2 saves. An ERA of 3.93. He has faced Baltimore twice. Thrown an inning and 2/3 and a strikeout. No record. He last went the 4th of July and he was turned into a Roman candle. An inning and 2/3, 4 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He walked 2 and struck out none. So in 36 2/3 innings, 34 hits, 2 homers, 17 runs, 16 earned. He's walked 16 and struck out 15. That fastball is a Bugs Bunny one at 82. And he does not favor the grounder or the fly ball. Harlow is 1 for 3. He has singled, walked, and scored twice. Let's see what Earl does. He'll bat him, and Harlow hits a ground ball to White over to first, and that will retire the side. So the Orioles strand a runner. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Baltimore 5, Kansas City 2. So Frank White, UL Washington, and George Brett to face Denny Martinez, who's now just over 100 pitches as we start the bottom of the 8th. 80 degrees, so now it's comfortable in Kansas City as you sit and eat your barbecue. White 0 for 2. He's going to be 0 for 3. No, he won't, because DeCinces got a late jump on the ball and White beat it out. DeCinces didn't move to his left fast enough, and on the artificial surface, that took a true bounce, and White has himself an infield hit. For Washington, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. Brooks would have had that. Pitch to UL is a ground ball to Belanger. Only play is to first. Washington is out. But White goes to second. And that'll bring up George Brett, who was 1 for 3. Has singled and struck out. Denny, 7 1/3 innings, 106 pitches, 5 hits. He has walked 2 and struck out 4. Popped up, left side, Belanger, DeCinces. Belanger calls for it. That was a rainmaker, 2 out. For Hal McRae, who's 0 for 3. Here's the pitch in the left, but Kelly has it lined up, and that will retire the side. No runs, a hit. The Royals strand a runner. We go to the 9th. Baltimore 5, Kansas City 2. Dower, Murray, and Singleton. Dower is 2 for 4. Mignori will stay in the ball game. Give me the fatigue warning, but he's supposed to throw 50 pitches. That's not good. Dower singled twice. Into left field. Paquette, 1 out. Here's Murray. Eddie 1 for 4. He has singled, stole a base, and driven in a run. Or driven in. Or drove. 70. I know he's got a 78 baseball card. And Jamie says 77. Because he got one of those record breaker cards in 78. Pitch to Murray is into right field. Hurdle into foul territory will make the catch and 2 out. Brings up Kenny Singleton, who's 2 for 3. Has singled, doubled, and walked. 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Orioles. They've left 8 on. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Kansas City. They've stranded 3. Lecoq, Porter, and Hurdle do up. And driven and drove both work. And that's into center field. Otis will make the catch, and that will retire the side. I've never even heard of that word. That would be more fun, not funner. Here is Lecoq. Pierre is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Denny looking to go the distance. 8 innings, 5 hits. The pitch. Ground ball to Murray, and it plays him. Murray will pick it up. Lecoq is going for 2. He's got it. So Murray put the glove down and couldn't come up with it. So Singleton did it. Ah, yes, please don't. So Lecoq is on second. And that'll bring up Porter, who's 1 for 3. He's gone to single and scored. Depends. I would say snuck. Or sneak. Billy snuck in for his snack. Those are funnel cakes. Not funner, they're funnel. Pitch to Porter. Base hit? No, line drive. Yes, it is. It drops in front of Harlow. So the Royals now have the tying run at the plate. Lecoq at third. Porter at first for Hurdle. You can talk.
They're on her way here. Now it's time to make it 2. She cut me off right in the middle of Pat Mosley.
Okay.
Just to let you know.
All right.
So
that was fast.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's not even 1 yet.
No. She's on her way to deliver it.
Okay.
Okay, try 2.
I will. So Billy sneaked in. He snuck in. Billy snuck in after his curfew. Here's Hurdle. He's 1 for 2. Tying run at the plate. Got a walk and a strikeout. Dempsey and Martinez get together. And the pitch to Hurdle is a ground ball to Dower. Lecoq will score. They got Belanger for 1. The throw to Murray is not in time. It's 5 to 3 and Hurdle's on. So 4-6 on the fielder's choice. You hear sneaked, but I prefer snuck. And that break in the immersion brought to you by Instacart, delivering our groceries for the week. Yeah, it basically sounds like someone's up to no good. Oh, I agree with that. So Amos Otis, the tying run, he's 1 for 2. He's got a single and an RBI. Denny Deals struck him out. And 0-2 swung on and missed at 88. And that'll bring up a pinch hitter. It'll take Tom Poquette out. Who can hit a righty? Why, Joe Zdeb can. He hits him at a .357 clip. He's at .274 with 6 RBI. Last chance saloon for the Royals. Martinez looking to go 9-9. That's true. American English is, well, you know, bastardized. So Martinez trying to get the 27th out. Frank White on deck. Pitch to Joe is a liner in the right field. The Orioles win the ball game. Right in the waiting glove of Kenny Singleton. And it's 5 to 3. The Orioles go to 50 and 34. And the Royals fall to 46 and 37. Denny Martinez gets our digital dice player of the game. 9 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. He walked 2 and struck out 5, as you're arguing about the difference between sneak and snuck. I would say snuck, not sneaked. But then again, I don't understand why it's you hanged yourself. Shouldn't it be you hung yourself? It's a hung jury. Anyway, Gale takes the loss, 7 2/3 innings, 10 hits, 5 runs, all earned. He walked 3 and struck out 1. And so, Mignore only had 33 pitches. All right, well, we got a couple extra minutes. Let's play the day first, and then we'll go through and show you who we think is making the All-Star game. We'll know for sure after Sunday's games. Playing the games of July 8th, 1978. The Mets beat the Cubs 2-1. Kevin Coble goes to 2-2. Ray Burris takes the loss. The White Sox beat the Blue Jays 3-2. Kevin Kravick with a win. Gotta wait for the rest of the games to play out. Oh, you get the Dodgers and Astros on Sunday. How about that? You get your Dodger game tomorrow or Sunday. Kravick goes to 6-6. Minnesota 7, Oakland 1. Roger Erickson goes to 8-10. Rod Carew 4-4 with a triple. Trying to figure out what I need to read to you here. San Diego and Atlanta play a twin bill. The Padres win the first one 11-2. Randy Jones goes to 10-6. And in the second, San Diego wins an 11-7-6. Raleigh Fingers gets the win. One of those games, I'm assuming the first. San Diego pounded out 17 hits. Doubleheader between the Phillies and the Expos. A big night for the Phils. Ron Reed gets the win in Game 1, 2-1. Gary Carter was his 11th of the year. And in the nightcap, Jim Longmore goes to 7-6, and Greg Luzinski with his 23rd home run. He pounded 8-2 Philadelphia. Doubleheader between Cleveland and Boston, and I don't want to talk about it. 4-3 in the opener. Mike Paxton gets the win, 7-4. That was in 10 innings. And in the second, oh gosh, they swept them. 9-4. Sid Bungie gets the win, and Bill Campbell takes a loss. Dwight Evans 4-4 with a double. Oy vey. Reds lose to the Giants 6-5. The Count Montefusco goes to 4-7. Pete Rose 3-4 with a double. One of those games in that doubleheader, Boston walked 10 and had 4 errors. Doubleheader in Houston between the Dodgers and the Astros, which is why I didn't do that today, because I would have had to have done a doubleheader. In the opener, Bert Houghton goes to 13-3. They win it 2-1. Joe Ferguson hits 2 doubles. In the nightcap, the Dodgers beat the Astros 4-2. Bob Welch goes to 3-0. Davey Lopes steals 2 bases. The Dodgers are now 56-29. St. Louis 7-2 over Pittsburgh. Silvio Martinez goes to 3-5. Yes, we would have to check the grammar Nazis on the Fortnite streams. Absolutely. Milwaukee beat the Yankees, so Baltimore still in first place. Jerry Augustine gets the win, 3-2. Sparky Lyle with a loss. Don Money with his 5th of the year. In that Philadelphia doubleheader, Greg Luzinski, one of those games, 2 doubles and 4 RBIs. Larry Christensen allowed 3 hits over 7. Texas shuts out Detroit 4-0. Doyle Alexander goes to 7-8. Bobby Bonds with his 8th of the year. Not even touching that one, Big Clue. Doubleheader between the Angels and the Mariners, swept by California. Chris Knapp with a win in Game 1, 7-4. He goes to 11-6. Carney Lansford with 2 homers in that one. In the nightcap, David Frost gets the win, 9-4. He goes to 2-1. Don Baylor slugs his 19th. So the Angels are now 2 back. And I think that does it. That will do it. All right. So before the All-Star break, not a lot of games tomorrow. Dodgers and Houston. Looks like a lot of teams just decided to take the day off and get an extra day. So the Dodgers and Astros, that lead is now 8 games in the West. Cincinnati 11 back. San Diego is a half game behind Cincinnati. In the East, Philadelphia by 6 over Pittsburgh. The American League is one giant race. Baltimore by a half a game over the Yankees, 4 over Baltimore. The Red Sox are 41-41. Kansas City by a game and a half over Texas, 2 over Chicago and California, 4.5 over Minnesota. Now, take a look at some possibilities for the National League All-Stars. You know Dave Parker's going to go there. Gene Richards has had a magnificent year. Greg Luzinski, we should see Monday night, 7:45. 13 games is a full schedule. For baseball in 78, yes. Luzinski will be an all-star. You know you'll see Dave Parker. Reggie Smith, you'll see. Steve Garvey, George Foster. Who's going to start? Craig Swan, by the way, 11-4 with an ERA of 1.77. You could see Tom Seaver in his 11-3 record with a 2.39 ERA. Or Randy Jones is a 10-game winner. And Rick Russell is a 10-game winner. Bert Hooton, by the way, leads the National League with 13 wins. J.R. Richard, Tom Seaver, Phil Niekro. You should see all those people. And for the American League, well, Chet Lemon's still hitting 384 as we come close to the break. Craig Nettles. Jim Rice is having a Triple Crown year, except for the batting average part. You know you'll see him. Chet Lemon you'll see Monday night. Ralph Garr, I'm sure you'll see. Craig Nettles at third. Papa Jack's hitting 341. Who's going to start for the American League, though? John Matlack leads the league in ERA at 194. Jim Palmer is a 10-game winner. Larry Sorensen is 14-4. And Oya Guidry, 11-3 with a 2.58 ERA. And leads the league in strikeouts. So lots of possibilities. And that's the first half will end on Sunday's stream. And don't forget, of course it was speed. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do for you. So tape and digital dice a little bit later. And then tonight's support chat. Have a good weekend, everybody. Next scheduled Twitch stream is Sunday at noon Eastern. Until then, I'm Ron Juckett. Be good to each other. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.